Great Scott! Welcome to News Today with Universal Parks News Today. I'm Eric Morton, and here's the news for October 30th, 2020. Okay, that's enough of that. The Happy Halloween anyway. It's showtime. Previously confirmed by way of Halloween Horror Nights merchandise that was released and quickly pulled back off the shelves, it's no secret that Universal was planning some kind of seance to bring Beetlejuice into this year's HHN experience. He even got his own section at the tribute store. However, given the cancellation of the main event and drastic modifications made to the two houses that they were able to pull off, it seemed that the Beetlejuice house was shelved for next year's event. Or is it? The rumor mill is buzzing with talk of Beetlejuice making a surprise appearance at the tail end of this year's Halloween season. Team members and actors initially billed for roles in the house have been made to sign additional paperwork and NDAs. Graphic art is going up on one of the sound stages, and now the Universal Orlando app is showing an odd test with Revenge of the Tooth Fairy used as a placeholder of sorts for a house seemingly located near last year's Universal Monsters Haunted House inside the second parade warehouse in the Woody Woodpecker's Kid Zone area of Universal Studios, Florida. Rumors suggest that the house could open at any point this weekend, even on Sunday, despite that being the official last day of Halloween Haunted Houses. So stay tuned for more information as we follow this development. Universal Orlando's Showtimes page has been updated to show the nighttime spectacular Universal Orlando's Cinematic Celebration. It's also scheduled for October 31st. Despite the updates, Universal Orlando's Cinematic Celebration page still states the show is temporarily closed. It's likely that these showings are a test run to determine if it is feasible for the show to reopen more permanently. Universal Orlando describes the spectacular as an epic show with a colossal celebration of music, water, and light that transforms the park and takes you into the movies like never before. The show takes place within the central lagoon of Universal Studios Florida with dedicated viewing along the Central Park grass. The crowd isn't the only thing on the increase at Universal Orlando Resort. Today, we noticed new signs installed along the way to entrance points. The signs remind guests that they will be required to leave if they cannot follow face mask guidelines. The new sign is first seen next to the moving walkway. The new sign also provides guidance on how to properly wear a face covering. The new sign is also displayed in front of the Universal Studios Florida Arch. This signage is clearly designed to let guests know exactly what will happen if they are unable to wear an approved face covering. While the modified Halloween Horror Nights houses are still open for screams and scares at Universal Orlando Resort through November 1st, a sneak peek one of next year's houses has just been revealed in a Halloween Horror Nights behind-the-scenes special on YouTube. Heavily influenced by Eastern European puppet traditions, Puppet Theater Captive Audience will terrify Halloween Horror Nights guests starting in 2021. Here's how Charles Gray, Senior Show Director for Universal Orlando Resort, described the up-and-coming house. Turn of the century, 1900s, this place has collapsed. And inside this puppet troupe, Pesky's puppet troupe from the Eastern European era, has come in to set up shop. Right as they were exiting, the ballet was also here, so these two groups have been, and some patrons and stuff, when this collapsed. They were all trapped, so they all start losing their minds, and the puppet troupe begins taking the patrons, cutting them up, and turning them into puppets. It's super gory in this house. Yeah, I think that sounds gory. Cutting people up and using them as puppets. Stay tuned for more information from Universal for Halloween Horror Nights 2021. Despite revenue being down over 80% in the third fiscal quarter, Universal Parks and Resorts expressed optimism that they will break even in 2021. The Orlando Business Journal's Richard Bilbao described the discussion taking place on the third quarter report from Universal's parent company, Comcast. Unsurprisingly, the theme park's end of the business is still being affected by the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Revenue has dropped 80.9% to $311 million compared to the same period last year, while 2020 overall revenue is down 71%, $1.267 billion to date. This is still an improvement of the 94% loss suffered in the second quarter, as most of the resort's parks worldwide, including Universal Orlando Resort and Universal Studios Japan, have reopened with reduced capacity. Bilbao also noted that Universal's Epic Universe, the new theme park coming to the Universal Orlando area, wasn't mentioned in the report. Development of the park has been officially delayed, though a trickle of work still remains ongoing. Universal still faces some big issues for its theme parks, including the ongoing closure of Universal Studios Hollywood under California's current restrictions. The park is considering partially reopening with just food and retail options, though no decision has been made as of now. Another major concern is the newest surge of COVID-19, forcing some theme parks, which had reopened, to close again, similar to what Disneyland Paris announced recently. Still, despite all the setbacks, attendance has continued to grow at the Orlando and Japan parks, even with the capacity restrictions, according to Comcast executives, though they are still considered to be the biggest drag to NBC Universal. The company expects the theme parks to break even next year, no matter when Universal Studios Hollywood fully reopens. During the Q&A portion of the report, Bilbao added that Comcast remains confident in the theme park's ability to bounce back, calling them a great business. Though the future remains uncertain, they believe guests will return, allowing for a, quote, nice rebound, while commending how things have been handled by both guests and team members who have experienced waves of layoffs, including a recent round earlier this month, which affected non-hourly workers. It's been pretty quiet lately around the Jurassic World Velocicoaster construction site, but we know the crew is hard at work behind those walls. We spotted a few new details around the attraction, including a set of stairs getting enclosed by perforated sheets of metal. Directly next to the burger digs, there's a set of stairs that recently received new hand railings. Walls are going up around this staircase that blend in with the other details around the watchtower above. A lonely little tree has sprung up just outside of the Raptor paddock. It towers over the construction walls and caught our attention right away. They've begun installing more netting around the track closest to Camp Jurassic. It looks like they've started to work on filling in a pathway along the lagoon. This terracotta colored walkway looks like it will fit in quite nicely with the rest of the theming in the area. There's truly no greater symbol of the Halloween season than monsters, and Universal Studios Japan has brought them out of captivity from the Universal Monsters Live Rock and Roll Show to dance along with guests on the streets of Hollywood for a spooky seasonal celebration. The new Monsters de Dance show on Mel's stage allows guests to enjoy both the Rat-Tat-Tat dance and the new Social Dis dance with the iconic monsters we all know and love. Now you can practice along at home with our video here on YouTube. You can experience this show live at Universal Studios Japan through the end of Halloween on November 8th, but be sure to arrive early. It's a hot ticket these days. Halloween may be a scary time for our eyes and ears, but it shouldn't be for our taste buds. And while I'll usually laud Universal Studios Japan for its higher caliber of food, the park seems to have hit a bit of a mixed bag with their new Halloween Cerritos. Announced last month, both of these Dulce Cerritos are available at the food wagons within Universal Market in New York for 600 yen each. There are two varieties, no-bake cheesecake and pumpkin chestnut. There's also a small discount for annual pass holders for these items. To read our full review, head on over to our site. The happy holiday season is almost upon us at Universal Studios Japan, and the park has revealed a few special treats exclusive to the holiday season this year. So what are you waiting for? Grab a fork and let's dig into what's coming November 9th to Universal Studios Japan. First off, available at the Magic Neep inside the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. 2 of these 4 Cerritos will be available each day to match Quidditch match cards over at the 3 Broomsticks. This riff on traditional British cakes includes a vial of fun, which guests can add themselves. At the Happiness Cafe in San Francisco, the traditional chicken plate will add waffles, a tomato sauce, and a rice Santa hat for the holiday season. The Minion Bun, usually filled with curry, will take on a special holiday version, complete with a Santa hat and crab cream filling available at Minion Happy Kitchen Cart in Minion Park, among other areas. Also in Minion Park, the white chocolate banana cookie sandwich will be available with an extra Santa beard topping. A beard topping. at Delicious Me. Next we have, I'm having trouble saying this without kind of gagging. Next we have drinkable potato chips. Yeah, you heard right. Drinkable potato chips. Fluffy consomme foam and potato chips top this interesting drink. This one will be available from the food carts at Universal Market in New York. Also available will be the strawberry tiramisu Christmas dolce Cerritos. All of these items will be available at the stores mentioned in Universal Studios Japan starting November 9th. So be sure to check them out. Let me know what you think of that potato chip drink. Ooh. Make your Christmas tree magical this year with some new Harry Potter Quidditch ornaments, now available at Universal Orlando Resort. Ornaments feature 3 different broomsticks from the movies, also the golden snitch and the Hogwarts Quidditch cup. Each Quidditch ornament is $19 and is available in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter at Islands of Adventure. Flashback to the 90s and ride the movies with this all-new Universal Studios retro marquee windbreaker. And it's now available at Universal Orlando Resort. The windbreaker features a hoodie with neon yellow drawstrings and a color block pattern in black, pink, and blue. You'll find the Universal Studios logo embroidered in similar neon colors on the front and back of the windbreaker for $60. You can add this rad new windbreaker to your Universal Studios retro apparel collection. We found it in the Universal Studios store at the entrance to Universal Studios Florida. For more information on these stories and more, head on over to universalparksnewstoday.com. If you're enjoying the show, be sure to like this video, subscribe to Universal Parks News Today on YouTube for more great content. Click that bell for notifications, and then after you click the bell, make sure to hit select all notifications so you never miss an episode of News Today with Universal Parks News Today. For UPNT, this is Eric Morton saying the future is whatever you make it, so make it a good one.